Trivia lovers the world over, or at least my little corner of it. Welcome to this podcast. It's called 21 Questions. I named it that because I asked 21 questions throughout the course of it, although arguably I could have called it 22 questions because there's now a 22nd one with the list and question at the end. But for now, we'll persevere with 21 questions. My name is Mike. I run a trivia company. It's called Trivia Tribe. I'm a really bad guitar player. Thought I'd mention that. Question 1, let's go. Which children's book movie has the central character Dorothy Gale? I think we talked about this in a very early episode of this podcast, but it was The Wizard of Oz, or The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. I think we've mentioned it a couple of times now, think about it. Question 2, we'll press on. Which planet in our solar system shares its name with the famous flytrap plant? That'd be the Venus flytrap. Question 3, the birthday of which animal is celebrated on August 1 in the Southern Hemisphere and January 1 in the Northern Hemisphere, regardless of when they were actually born? Horses. Horses are all given the same nominal birth date. I really don't understand it. Question 4, is it true or false? Here we go. True or false, celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay was born in Scotland, November 1 of 1966. Is that true? Is that false? That's all true. Gordon Ramsay was born in Scotland, November 1966. Question 5. Are the lollies lifesavers a product of America, England, or Australia? Where did lifesavers come from? They are American. A guy called Clarence Crane of Garrettsville in Ohio invented those, I think around 1920 or so, but I could be wrong about the date. Question 6. Which female music artist has sold over 100 million albums, both as a solo artist and as part of the Supremes? Diana Ross. Diana Ross spells her name with only one N, but two S's. Question 7. Here's a little bit of culture for you. We're talking high art. Is the painting known as Dream Caused by the Flight of a Bumblebee Around a Pomegranate a Second Before Awakening a work by Pablo Picasso or Salvador Dali? It's Salvador Dali. Now, if you don't know much about Salvador Dali, it's well worth doing a Google on him. He had a pretty extraordinary life, and when you read about his childhood, it's kind of understandable that he had a bit of an unusual brain going on. Alrighty, after question 7, we do our first clues for the Who Am I? Who am I? I was born in Michigan in 1981 and trained from childhood alongside my sister under the guidance of our father. As a teenager, I began defeating established champions, signaling a new era in my sport. One of the most famous sportswomen of all time. More clues coming for that after question 14. For now, though, here's question 8. Question 8. If you are exploring the Old Quarter in Hanoi, which country are you in? You're in Vietnam. Question 9. Which two performers were involved in the infamous wardrobe malfunction scandal during the halftime entertainment at the Super Bowl way back in 2004? It's over 20 years ago. It doesn't feel like it, does it? They were, of course, Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. All right. Question 10. Which major European city lies on both the Amstel and the Ij rivers? Now, I probably said Ij wrong. It's IJ. Who names a river the Ij? Anyway, I'll give you that question again while you think about it. Which major European city lies on both the Amstel and the Ij rivers? That would be Amsterdam, where a great many of my relatives come from. Well, maybe not Amsterdam, but the Netherlands more broadly. And we never once, over the dinner table, discussed the pronunciation or spelling of the Ij River, much to my chagrin. Question 11, true or false? Oscar-winning actress Whoopi Goldberg was born Karen Elaine Johnson. That's true. You can do What's a Celebrity's Real Name all day long because it's very interesting. True. Question 12. Which legendary Pakistani Test cricketer was also once a member of the Pakistan Parliament, National Assembly, I think at one time the Prime Minister, and then he went to jail? That would be Imran Khan. Enough said. I shall make no comment. Question 13. Which is the lightest metal out of lithium, lead, or copper? That's a bit science nerdy, isn't it? Lithium. Lithium, it's a metal. Question 14. What does the J stand for in the name of the Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling? J4? Joanne. Joanne Rowling. Okay, more clues for the Who Am I. Here we go. Who am I? Over my career, I won 23 Grand Slam singles titles, which is the most in the Open era. I've also won multiple Olympic gold medals and dominated the world rankings for years. More clues coming up after question 20. Question 15. Which 1950 movie was Walt Disney's first live-action movie and was loosely based on a novel by Robert Louis Stevenson? Treasure Island. Treasure Island. Question 16. We're talking brilliant movie musicals from the 70s. What musical features the song Summer Lovin'? Oh, hello, hello, hello. Tell me more, tell me more. That would be Grease. What a great movie. You know what? I watched that movie when it came out, so 78, I was probably 10. And I thought it was amazing, right? And in my mind, when they're all dancing during that song on the grandstand of the little oval there's hundreds of people dancing, right? And then I guess 10 years ago, I showed that movie to my son. Right? My son's Jake, he's 22 now, so he would have been 12 or thereabouts. And I watched it with him, hadn't seen it since the 70s. And I couldn't believe that they had clearly made that movie for $3.50, right? There's a cast of several. And what I remember to be dozens of people dancing was just 6 or 8. Funny how you fill in the gaps on these things. Anyway, Greece, well worth a look. Question 17. Jiminy Cricket serves as the official conscience of which fictional character? So that's Pinocchio, and Pinocchio is well worth a Google as well, just for the different versions of it. It was originally quite a hardcore story. Well, look, I won't go into the details, won't ruin it for you, but Google it. You will be surprised if you don't know that story. Question 18. Who is the only British Prime Minister in history to have received the Nobel Prize for Literature and was also the first person to be made an honorary citizen of the United States? We will fight them on the beaches. That would be Sir Winston Churchill, played by John Lithgow in The Crown. Question 19 is always an alive or dead. I'll give you a name. You tell me if you think they're alive or dead. Today, Mel Brooks. Legendary writer, actor, director. Think Blazing Saddles. Think Young Frankenstein. Think Robin Hood Men in Tights. Is Mel Brooks alive or dead? Mel Brooks is alive. He's 99 years old. He'll crack the ton in late June 28 from memory. Question 20, music question. Which singer's 2002 debut jazz album was called Come Away With Me and was a huge hit? Huge hit for Norah Jones. Her father, of course, Ravi Shankar, who was a legendary sitar player. Might still be. I'm not sure if he's alive or dead. We could do him as an alive or dead. Alrighty, more clues for the Who Am I. Here they come. Who am I? Off the court, I've become an entrepreneur, fashion figure, an advocate for women's equality in sport. I'm widely regarded as one of the greatest athletes of all time, redefining power and longevity in professional tennis. I am, of course, probably thinking early on it was one of the Williams sisters. Those extra clues should lead you to Serena Williams. Serena Williams. Okay, that's the 21 standard questions that it says that you're going to get on the label, but I've got an extra one for you now because we now do a player question. If you'd like to get involved, and I would really encourage you to do that if you'd like to, send me a trivia question. It can be anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be easy, hard, medium, whatever you want. Send me a trivia question via the 21 Questions Facebook page, and I will at some point put it into this section of an episode. I'll credit you as the person that sent it to me, and I would just love to hear from you. Last week, Marg from the Gold Coast sent the question, what's the name of Dame Edna Everidge's constant companion and bridesmaid? Great question. The answer is Madge Alsop. Madge Alsop. Now, Madge was played by several actors over a couple of different decades, but the character has been retired now because Barry Humphries, who of course plays Dame Edna's favourite actor that played Madge, was a British actress called Emily Perry. And when Emily Perry retired, as I guess a tribute to her, Dame Edna retired Madge. So we won't see Madge again. Great question, Marg from the Gold Coast. This week, Glenn from Caboolture has sent me a question, and it's great in that I've never heard of it before. Here we go. What does the, I'm going to say probably pronounced Janka hardness scale measure? Janka. What does the Janka hardness scale measure and classify the hardness of? What a great question. I had no idea. We'll do the answer next show. But if you want to look it up, Janka, Janka hardness scale. It measures and classifies the hardness of a particular thing. Nothing of color intended. Alrighty. That brings us to the end of another episode of 21 Questions. I'm really enjoying bringing you this little show. If you're enjoying listening to it, I'd really appreciate it if you could rate and or subscribe to the show via your favorite podcast listening app. It really does make a difference to a fledgling podcast like this one. Having said that, I'm absolutely delighted by the number of people that are listening to this show. It's growing a lot quicker than I thought it would. Yay you for listening. And if you're telling your friends about it, you're doing God's work. And by God, I mean you're saving me having to spend money on ads. Thank you very much. Alrighty, this podcast comes out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I'll be back in a day or two with another episode for you. Thanks very much for listening. Hope you did well with that set of questions. Hope you found them interesting. Until next time, cheers.